Amy was $6,000, taking her down to $19,000. Sam bet 0 before, and fans were saying this would have been the game when Sam shouldn't have bet anything. I was hoping he'd win because yesterday's game caused such a conflict. Amy's now at 2 wins and thus continues the tournament for another day. Let's hope Sam picks up a win tomorrow. I see they're continuing to do poses. After thanking Johnny Gilbert, Ken Jennings' instruction was, and welcome everyone to the 5th game of our Tournament of Champions finals. What a week it has been. I feel like I've just been at the edge of my lectern throughout every game. And I hope you at home are enjoying this new tournament format as much as we are here in the studio. I certainly do. Other fans seem to as well, since that was one of the top comments in one of the games earlier this week, that the Tournament of Champions format should be like this from now on. We certainly have a dramatic Friday game ahead of us, with 2 wins apiece. Either Amy or Ender can clinch this championship in the next half hour, or could this be the beginning of an epic comeback for Sam? Good luck, champions. We've seen your thoughtful faces. Put them to work on this game board as we begin a very important Jeopardy round. It is important, isn't it? This either ends it or extends it. I don't know why I'm quoting Steve Harvey in a Jeopardy game. Sam was in the red at -1,000. A tough way to start. I hope he can turn that around. Amy got the first daily double, versus 1,000. Unfortunately, answered wrong and went down to 0. The name of this piece furniture comes from French for to put to bed. I was blanking out too, and I should know this. Amy answered armoire, which is actually the word for wardrobe. Ken told her, couche is the word, I believe it's couch. Couche, that makes more sense. I love how Amy just said, never heard of that, alright. Sam answers the next 2 questions wrong and is in the red at -$2,800. I hope it's not another Jessica situation, especially not when fans and I want to see him win following the Romans answered the other day. Sam was just starting to get out of the hole before the first commercial break. Ender had half of Amy's score. Why does that keep happening? Before the mini actual interviews, Ken told them, I talked to you 3 contestants so much lately. I'm surprised you still have anecdotes to relate. Yeah, the 74-game champion is surprised they still have anecdotes to relate. Ken had 75. Actually, Ken had 97 in total. Sam visited Venice when there was a flood. I've talked to you 3 contestants so much lately, I'm surprised you still have anecdotes to relate. But this is pretty good, Sam. You and your wife were visiting Venice once when... Sam answered, that's right, in November 2019. We were at the end of a week-long vacation in Venice, a beautiful city. We were caught in an enormous flood, the biggest flood they'd seen in 50 years. 80% of the city inundated. We went out to try to sweep water from the inside of the hotel, and within minutes, the furniture was bobbing down the hallway. So we grabbed our passports and hit the higher ground, and we were able to get out. So it's an adventure for us, but it really was a destructive and difficult time for Venice. Talk about bad timing. And this is 2 years before he appeared on Jeopardy. Ken asked Andrew, a lot of our players in these tournaments get to spend time together, hang out. They form a community that often lasts for years. What do you have planned with one of your fellow TOC players? He answered, yeah, first of all, I just like to say, I've loved getting to know every member of this group here. It's just an amazing part of the experience. In particular, I've been talking with Margaret Shelton, and I have come to know that she's not only a fierce Jeopardy competitor and just all-around fascinating person, she's also a huge food connoisseur. So, regardless of what happens here on the stage, I'd like to think we're going to hit up Koreatown, and we're going to have, kimchi jjigae and everything that place has to offer. All Ken told him was, I could go for some kimchi jjigae right now. I wonder if he tried any when he grew up in Korea. I'd love to hang out with Margaret. She seems so kind. Right when Ken said he was surprised they still had anecdotes, Ken asked Amy about her tattoo with the Wizard of Oz, essentially recycling the anecdote from her 14th game. And yes, I still remember it was specifically from her 14th game because A, that was right after Sam won the Professor's Tournament, and B, it's the Wizard of Oz, how can I not remember? And C, that's the game that Doe Park played against Amy. Amy answered, yeah, so this is Princess Ozma of Oz. So the person who wrote The Wizard of Oz, L. Frank Baum, wrote a bunch of sequels to it, and all of them, she's the ruler of Oz, and her backstory is that she was the rightful heir, kidnapped as an infant by an evil sorceress who enchanted her and raised her as a boy until she was a teenager. So, and then in that first sequel, the enchantment is lifted, and she's revealed to be the beautiful princess that she was, and so I felt that was very appropriate to my life story. I just noticed in either time, or I just noticed she mentioned basically the plot. Spoiler alert, Amy. I mean, I really don't have to worry about myself. It's just, what if other Jeopardy fans wanted to read the book? Anyway, I'm glad she was able to connect the Wizard of Oz to her life. Amy is a princess, the princess of Jeopardy, or the goddess of Jeopardy, whichever. Sam finally got out of the hole. Right before the last question was revealed, Sam said, "Bring it on." Sam entered the first round winning $1,600, and it was in second place at $2,200, and Amy was in lead at $6,600. Musicians, singers for acting roles in a new TV series. 4 insane boys, ages 17 to 21, said the 1965 ad that launched this group. The answer was the Monkees, and this aired a few weeks before the anniversary of Michael Nesmith's death. Andrew got the first Daily Double in Double Jeopardy. He made a true Daily Double, got it right, and went to $10,000. The answer was obvious as well. This book with a facial feature in its title was Toni Morrison's debut novel, What is the Bluest Eye? Toni Morrison also came up with the final Jeopardy round in Mateo Roach's 17th game. He got both Daily Doubles. He got a back-to-back Daily Double. Ken asked, "Will you do it again?" He did do a back-to-back true Daily Double, the first time since Erica Hossack did in the quarterfinals, and what Roger Craig first accomplished in the 2011 Tournament of Champions. Well, not so fast there. He unfortunately didn't answer and went down to 0. It was another Daily Double asking about a French term too. Don't Try to Pet the Cat in a Tricky Canvas by Louis Leopold Boilly, who invented this French term. The answer was trompe-l'oeil painting. I'm questioning my French skills now. Cincinnati Red with 4,256 hits, who sits in the White House flower beds, admiring a Hieronymus Bosch painting. The answer was, who is Pete Rose's Garden of Earthly Delight? The Garden of Earthly Delight was what Tyler answered in the final Jeopardy round when he lost to Tony Freitas. Built by the Knights of St. John in the 11 and 1200s, the Crusader castle, Croix de Chevalier, is in this Middle Eastern country. After Noah buzzed in, Ken told him, "It's in Syria." Alex had it in his bucket list and never got to go. Well, now I'm sad. It's a 3-part painting, like Francis Bacon's 3 study of Lucy and Freud. The answer was a triptych. Dorothy Anderson was the first to identify this disease, CF for short, and helped create the first test to diagnose it. After Sam answered, "What is cystic fibrosis?" he asked, "May I please have the final clue?" making some sort of comment for the second round in a row. I love it. The audience laughs and Ken told him, "So polite now."
Ayn Rand is thought to have based the architect in this novel on Frank Lloyd Wright.
Ken still pronounces it Ayn Rand, and Amy answered, "What is a fountainhead?" which is funny because she answered, "Who is Rand?" on her 26th game. I remembered that specifically also. Unlike the Wizard of Oz anecdote, I don't know how I remembered this specifically. Amy had a Double Jeopardy winning $15,800. Sam was in second place at $11,200, and Ender was in third place at $6,800. The final Jeopardy category was English cities. The question was, William the Conqueror's son built a fortress on a key northern river in 1080, giving this city its name. Out of all the cities in England, I honestly don't know what could have possibly been new. The answer was Newcastle upon Tyne. Sam bet everything, taking him to $22,400. Ken pointed out Amy seemed cool and collected as usual. The audience gasped at her wager, which I decided not to reveal until now because she just wagered $1,800, taking her down to $17,600. Sam finally got a win. Let's see if he can make it 2 on Monday, or if Ender and Amy win the tournament.
And as always, thank you for watching.